When it comes to real estate, you will lose hundreds of thousands of dollars if you do not have a really good follow-up system. I did not have one for the first year or so of my career and lost 30 plus deals because of it. In this video, I'll explain my follow-up system that I now have to make sure you close as much business as you possibly can. When I was at the peak of prospecting, I was talking to over 200 people a day. And when you are having that many conversations, you are bound to lose people in the cracks unless you have a rock solid follow-up system and process for how to track your contacts. Over the course of my first year of prospecting, I was able to look back at homes I had knocked on, people I had personally talked to and not followed up with, and counted over 30 homeowners that sold, and I was not the agent on the deal. And trust me, it's not a good feeling. It hurts to see that. I just didn't stay top of mind when the time came to make that move and actually make the jump to decide to sell. If you want to avoid this mistake, watch this whole video so you can crush your prospecting conversations with confidence. The first thing you want to do when creating a follow-up system is have the right tools in place. The first being a CRM. I personally use a CRM that tracks a couple important metrics, which I will talk about a little later in the video, but keep that in mind. A CRM is really, really important. Other tools that you'll want to have is an in-depth log of notes for your conversations. This will be the key when it comes to speaking with people you have already talked to and revisiting neighborhoods. So make sure you have your notes app, Google Sheets, Excel, whatever it is, and use that to keep track of data like addresses, names, contact info, and notes about the conversation. The name of the game is making as many meaningful conversations as possible and making sure they never forget who you are. The next tool you'll want to be really familiar with is a hot sheet. For those that don't know what that is, it is a tool that will send properties automatically to your prospects when something fits within their criteria that you can set. These are your best friend even when it comes to prospects that are not ready to make that move yet. Finding out what someone is eventually going to be looking for will help you get them on a hot sheet that will send them homes for the foreseeable future. I have had clients get a home from me and reach out without me having to talk to them and not even talking to them for months. But this is not the only secret. The true secret sauce is if you are able to send the hot sheet to yourself instead of robotically to your client. This takes more work, so you may only be able to with a handful of clients or your top most active people, but skim through the homes in their criteria and personally write out a text to shoot over to them with the homes included. This adds a personal touch and allows you to continue to be the market expert and the resource for all their real estate needs. So far we have a tracking system for notes and other information, a hot sheet system to stay on top of our clients, but you are probably wondering, this is all great, but what is the system to use them with? Well, this is what I did. When I knocked doors, I'd set appointments and get so busy and excited that I stopped implementing data. Do not do this. This is super, super important. Prospect every single day, and in the mornings, take the conversational data in your notes and implement it into your CRM. You're gonna get really busy, and so if you ever get to the point where you can't do this anymore because you are so busy, it's time to hire an assistant. And I promise it will pay dividends. It's totally worth it having an assistant. Make sure you're up to date with your data and your contacts you're having and hot sheets and making sure those are being sent out to your clients. This will keep you on top of the people you talk to and make sure you have a stream of business always flowing in. This is the beauty of having a really good follow-up system. This leads me into using a task manager. If you can learn to schedule your days, weeks, and months, your success will skyrocket. What I mean by this is if you can take a conversation where a client says, we're not ready, but come back in a month. You are putting that into your task manager and actually going back in a month. This is not a joke. Do this. And don't let the thoughts of, oh, they probably won't remember me, or it's not worth my time to go back. Talk you out of going. Every time someone says to follow up with them, put it in your calendar and actually do it. Follow it to a T. So once you have your notes, your hot sheets, and a task manager ready so that you can prospect, keep track of conversations, send value to prospects, and keep track of when to follow up, we are ready to have the CRM conversation. This is when a weekly email comes into play. This is when birthday cards come into play, and this is when business starts to go on autopilot. If you are able to look at your CRM with all your database and can send a monthly newsletter within 30 minutes to hundreds or thousands of contacts, you can track birthdays and send handwritten cards. You'll be the absolute beloved realtor that everyone loves to hear from if you're following up that consistent and know stuff about the people you actually talk to. Being able to recognize people's birthdays, recognize their names, recognize important conversational points that you talked about is truly important to build character and rapport with those that you talk to. A CRM is really, really powerful and important if utilized correctly. The best part is it does not have to be fancy whatsoever. I'm pretty sure I used Excel for a majority of my career up to this point until I got too busy and needed an actual software to help me. So without creating an hour-long training about this, which I'm actually happy to do. So if that's something you'd like, leave a comment below. I'd love to go live about it or create a training around this. Let's recap once more. Step one is to prospect. Like always, talk to people. It doesn't matter the prospecting method, just have conversations. Once you have done that, track those conversations and the interests of the people you speak with, the homes they want, their family, their situation. From there, you'll be able to take that info and create hot sheets for interested clients, which you can elevate by actually sending the message personalized to your client through just a simple text message. After implementing these steps, you are able to really dive into your daily tasks and making sure you commit to following up when a client wants you to. Go back to their house, send them a text, call them, just make sure you're just on top of them. When they tell you to do something, just do it. Honor your word, follow up with them. It will surprise you the amount of trust it builds in people when you actually follow up. And finally, use a CRM to automate the entire process. If you can get to the point where you are prospecting, or maybe you're not prospecting, have all your contacts and notes in one place in your database and are able to send handwritten notes, monthly emails, and keep track of those you talk to, it sure doesn't sound like there's a whole ton of ways to fail. Honestly, real estate's not hard. You just have to do the work. Again, let me know if you want a more in-depth video of follow-up, but don't make it crazy. The more simple the task, the more likely you're going to do it. And so stay tuned for my next video where I will be adding to my live door knocking script series for realtors, and I'll see you in the next video.